So today I'm going to review the Reuleaux RX2 mod by Wismec. Just got that in yesterday. So as you can see, it's an updated version of the Reuleaux series designed by Jabo. So you've got a USB cable in this one for charging, and a warning card for your batteries, user manual, back cover for the 2-cell and back cover for the 3-cell. So let's open this sucker up and take a look at it. I got the silver gray one here. I also got a black one, but I've not had a silver gray Reuleaux yet. So very much the same form factor as the original Reuleaux, the RX200 and the RX200S. It has the same screen as the RX200X S, and really not a lot has changed. The buttons I know are different than the RX200, which, let me grab one of those that I've got real quick. The original RX200, you can see the screen is sizably bigger, and the buttons are now a single bar instead of two individuals. So difference here on this, the 2.3, is the battery cover. So now you got to press a little button on the bottom here to get it to pop open. So press that, springs open a little bit, and then you play with it. So this is probably the first thing that I've noticed that I'm not sure that I like about this design, is if you notice on here you've got these two little hooks, and they hook into these holes here, and then these two little prongs go in there, and then there's some springing action that's happening. I'm not sure where. I'm assuming it's just the tension off of these. So when you put it back together, you kind of got to get it lined up just right, which can be a little bit of a pain, honestly. Like, you don't get it the right way, end up sticking it like this, but just right, and snap. So for your 3-cell, you got this back cover, which now the third battery goes into the cover on it, and it's got its contacts made. And it looks like this one is adjustable on here. It's got a little screw on it, so I don't think that's where the springiness is though on it. So then in the box we've got our warning label for your batteries, user manual, explains all the different features of the Reuleaux, and specifications, which I won't really go over because you can go just about anywhere and see those specifications. But nice detailed manual. Wismec and Reuleaux's pretty good about that. And underneath we have the 2-cell back cover, and of course your USB cable on there. And again, with even the 2-cell, you got this little issue with getting that sucker lined up just right. So, and let's see, get it. And I don't know if over time maybe this will get simpler, but you gotta get that sucker in there just right. And so, thinking you almost got to get it flush and kind of, kind of pop it in that way. So, there we go. Maybe that's the trick, right there. So that form factor is pretty nice. I actually really like this form factor. It doesn't seem like it would be that much smaller, but it really is. So compared to the original Reuleaux, it's almost half the size of it. And you can compare these one on top of another. But I don't think that's what makes the real difference. Let me grab a cuboid here, which is also another 2-cell that I've got. So you notice the cuboid, it's pretty, much just the size of 2 cells, right? Not a whole lot much more to it than that. But I still feel like the Reuleaux is actually smaller to a certain degree. It's thicker for sure, but just the feel of it. So the one thing that I noticed using this today was that since it is kind of triangular shape, right, it has a tendency to be able to lay down flat relatively easy. Now you can't, through the cuboid, I mean, it'll lay down pretty flat. It's not really going to go anywhere. And here, obviously, it's not going anywhere at all. But what I liked was, with this one, is I have a tendency to, when I'm driving, put them in my cup holder, and if you sit them like this, you turn a corner, they flip over. Well, with this one, since it's bottom heavy, if you kind of tilt it, it stays pretty good, which I think is kind of cool, It doesn't have a tendency to bounce back up because, the weight is not evenly distributed. It'll sit like this relatively easy and not try to readjust itself when you go around corners, unlike the cuboid. So let's pop some batteries in this sucker. So unlike the original 200 or RX200, these are going to go in negative up on the left side and positive up on the right side. Before, on the 200s, RX200s, they were both negative up. So might want to pay attention when you're putting the batteries in for the first time so you don't get those in the wrong way. So with the 2 battery configuration, let's see if I can get this to go smooth. Nope. And this is the problem. I think this is going to be the one thing I don't like about it, is it's so easy on the original Reuleaux to just take the battery cover off. You don't even have to really think about it to pop it back on. This one, I'm having to put some thought into. And I'm not sure that I enjoy that. So there we go. Yeah, and so nope. Let's try again. Yeah, there we go. Maybe. There. So as you can see, the screen on this is horizontal instead of vertical. And let's pop a tank on here. Check it out. Put my Smock TFV8 on here. In the 2 battery configuration, it'll go up to 150 watts, so let's throw that sucker all the way up. 150 watts. Let's check it out. Not bad. Drop it back down to 110 or so. And it goes by tenths of a watt when you go in watt mode, which is pretty much all I use. Just like the other Reuleaux, 3 times. And that takes you into let's do this with my right hand. 3 quick ones, and you can see there now the voltage watt. Change it to temperature control nickel, temperature control titanium, temperature control stainless steel, temperature control memory 1, and then back to voltage watt mode. Once to set it. So let's pop 3 batteries into this. Let's see how that goes. So again, you really got to kind of think about it as like, there we go. It out. So shuts off when you take the battery door off because it's conducting through those. And here's the black one that I got also. And this is the 3 batteries. So you look in here, you got the 3 batteries in there. And on this, the negative goes on the top, on the back cover. So that one went smooth that time. So I think it might be just a little bit of getting used to it. But for the time being, it seems to be a little bit of a pain. I'm not a huge fan so far of the doors, but I do like the configurability of it. So I can be 3 batteries or I can be 2 batteries, depending on what I want to carry around with me. You know, if I'm feeling like I need the extra power for some time, I can put 3 batteries in it. If I don't need the extra power and I just want to have something small that fits in my pocket easily, go 2 battery. So with 3 batteries in it, goes up to 200 watts. There we go, 200 watts. Let's see, what is this one? Yeah, I probably don't want to do this at 200, but I'll do it at 180. So 180 watts. And drop that back down to 150 because I got the quad coil in there. Woo! That almost kind of tasted burnt. So back down to 150. That's a lot better. So that's pretty much it. That's the Reuleaux 2.3. You know, if you've used any of the other Reuleaux in the past, not that much different. USB still in the front, just like the 200 RX200S. The screen on it, button hasn't changed for firing it, and the form factor is essentially exactly the same as it was before. I mean, slightly curved differently, but really almost identical with it, and you get the configurability of 2 or 3 batteries, which I think is kind of cool, and all for the same price as what the RX200Ss are going for right now. I got mine on Element Vape, I think, for $46 each. So if you're a fan of the Reuleaux, and specifically the RX200S, I'd highly recommend this one. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely like the form factor on it. Being able to go down to the 2 batteries is pretty nifty. Yeah, just if it weren't for that battery door, though. One of these days I'm going to figure out the trick on that. And there we go. And it also seems kind of like, at one time I thought I had it in there, and I popped it and didn't quite take, but I think that was just a first time issue on that. But you know, definitely a fair amount of size difference at that point. So Reuleaux it's RX2.3. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. So one other thing I wanted to point out real quick is that just like the original Reuleaux, you can swap the back battery covers on them. So like this, I put my 3 third one on the silver gray for my back cover, or I could put the the gray one back on there, or I could put the black flat one on there like I did with the silver here. So I think that's kind of cool, because if I happen to have the 3 cell on this one, I could still have the silver on this, and I could have the small silver on the 2 battery setup. And one other thing that I just happened to notice while looking at the difference between the RX23 and the RX200 is these are actually a little bit taller. That was the other difference. So if you notice, put these back to back here. Oh, and probably about, let's say, quarter of an inch difference in height. I'm surprised I didn't notice that previously, but yeah, there is a fair amount of difference in height. So the RX23 is about a quarter of an inch taller than the RX200s. I've not had an RX200S, so I'm not sure if that changed in that one, or if this is just a modification that occurred when doing the 2-3 battery doors on this. So I really don't know on that one. I can't say for sure, but I thought I'd point those out also. Thanks.